So they're talking about Conor Benn versus Shakur Stevenson now. I don't even know how this took place. It was on Ariel Hawani's show, and like I said, I always find it interesting how he kind of gravitated from MMA over to boxing. Anyway, he had on Shakur Stevenson, Conor Benn, and they were going back and forth. I thought it was kind of funny because Conor Benn was telling Shakur Stevenson watching him fight is like watching somebody paint. I think he meant to say like watching paint dry, but I got the gist. And and Shakur kept talking. They went back and forth. He was telling Shakur Stevenson, like, I don't like watching you fight. He's like, I don't like watching you fight. They were just going back and forth. It was kind of funny, and they're trying to talk about the weight that they could fight at, and Shakur's like, I'm not moving up to 160, and Conor Benn's at 160 still, I think. So I don't know, man. Didn't sound like Conor Benn was too confident that the rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. is going to take place in September because he said Chris Eubank is talking about the weight and all that because it was very difficult for him to get down to 160. But according to Conor Benn, he was saying, well, Chris Eubank wasn't complaining about getting to 160 when he fought Smith. But hey, I don't know. It may have not been hard for him to get down to 160 back then, but it's apparently hard now. We saw what he went through. But, I just found it interesting seeing Shakur Stevenson and Conor Benn go back and forth because I didn't even know this fight was on the radar, but apparently so. And Conor Benn was telling Shakur that, your legs buckled a couple times. Shakur was like, buckled a couple times? Like, what were you watching? And I thought it was funny, too, that Shakur Stevenson posted his daughter, and I think she said something about he was gonna almost got knocked out, even though I don't really think that happened. But that was her take on it. I thought that was cute and funny that he posted that. It shows he doesn't take himself too seriously. And Shakur Stevenson, man, he doesn't get enough credit for how funny he is. And he was telling Conor Benn, when you start boxing, and I think he said like 16 or 17, he's like, oh, you cooked, man. Conor's like, cooked? What does that mean? Ariel's like, well, like you're finished, cooked. Because Shakur's like, I've been fighting since 5. Like, if you started at 17, and if I was Conor Benn, I would have said, oh, well, then you got so much mileage and wear and tear on your body. That's cool. But he didn't think of that. So that's on him. But I think if they fought, I think Shakur Stevenson wins that fight. I think if Chris Eubank Jr. was putting on a boxing clinic, the more the fight went, Shakur Stevenson's going to do that. Shakur has a lot of skills in the ring. Not a big puncher, but if he sits down on his punches, he could surprise some people. I think Shakur is just the all-around better boxer. Conor Benn just kind of relies on the home run punch. That's why he couldn't beat Chris Eubank Jr. He's just relying on winding up, and I think he even pointed that out on another interview that he wouldn't have loaded up so much if he could go back and redo that fight. But yeah, I got Shakur by decision if they ever do fight. But was this on you guys' radar? Is this something you want to see? Anyway, it's the J Roos Theory, the Cash App, $J Roos 33, the backup platform, and WJ are my page number 2. The Instagram, the J Roos Theory, LSR forever, and be fearless. Yeah.